How's it going, everyone? Austin Honecker here. I just wanted to come on here for a while and give him a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Fyter Fest Week 1 from tonight, which is July 15th, 2022. I gotta say, it was awesome from start to finish. For the matches, match 1, it was the House of Black, which are Malachi Black and Brody King, versus the Dark Order, which are John Silver and Alex Reynolds. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the House of Black went over cause Brody King pinned Alex Reynolds with the Dante's Inferno from Malachi Black and Brody King. Well, after the match, as the House of Black, which are Malachi Black and Brody King, were getting ready to head backstage, Darby Allin popped up out of nowhere on top of the Titantron and attacked Brody King with a diving crossbody, and a brawl ensued between Darby Allin and Brody King, beating the shit out of each other. And as Malachi Black was getting ready to attack Darby Allin, Sting came out and a stare down, and while Darby Allin and Brody King were beating the shit out of each other, Sting and Malachi Black had a stare down and everything. That was cool. Match 2, it was Match 2, it was Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty for the Ring of Honor World title. That was a great match, but the ending to it, Jonathan Gresham went over and retained the Ring of Honor World title with the Octopus hold. Now, after the match, Tony Schiavone interviewed Jonathan Gresham and Tully Blanchard, and Tony Schiavone brought up that Jonathan Gresham has retained the Ring of Honor World title and is still the Ring of Honor World Champion and everything. And then Jonathan Gresham was saying, "That's right, Tony. I am still the Ring of Honor World Champion. And from here on out, I'm going to be on AEW programming every week. You will see Jonathan Gresham on AEW television every week. And I will prove that I am the best. And I am the best wrestler in this business. Because, Tony, you're a smart man. Because you're a fan of the business of professional wrestling. But these people are morons and they don't know anything about professional wrestling and everything." And then Tully Blanchard was saying, "Jonathan Gresham, you done an awesome job tonight. Continue on to this path, and you will still be the Ring of Honor World Champion. And as you said, you are the best, and nobody can beat you." And everything. And as Tully Blanchard was talking, Claudio Castagnoli came out on the stage, and a stare down between Jonathan Gresham in the ring and Claudio Castagnoli on the stage and occurred and everything. That was cool. Match 3, it was Athena. Wait a minute. Match 3, it was Chris Statlander and Athena versus the Renegade Twins, which are Robin and Charlotte Renegade. That was a squash match, but the ending to it, Chris Statlander and Athena went over cause Athena pinned Charlotte Renegade with the Swan Dive Cutter. Now, before the match, Chris Statlander and Athena attacked the Renegade Twins, which are Robin and Charlotte Renegade, and beat the shit out of them. And before the match started, that was cool. And after the match, as Chris Statlander and Athena were celebrating their victory, Layla Gray came through the crowd and distracted Athena and talking shit and everything. And then Chris Statlander threw Layla Gray into the ring, and Chris Statlander and Athena ganged up on Layla Gray and was beating the shit out of her. And as that was going on, the baddies, which are Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan, came out and beat the shit out of Chris Statlander and Athena and laid them out and everything. And as Jade Cargill and Kiera Hogan were leaving the ring, Layla Gray and Stokely Hathaway were looking on and everything. And then the baddies, which are Jade Cargill, Kiera Hogan, Layla Gray, and Stokely Hathaway, ended up going backstage and everything. That was cool. And match 4, which was that was match 3, by the way. And match 4, and match 4, which was wait a minute. And match 4, which was the main event, it was the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta Oscuro, versus Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy. That was a great match, but the ending to it, the Lucha Brothers went over because Rey Fenix pinned Mark Quinn with the Black Fire Driver. Now, besides the matches, Miro cut a promo talking about how his God failed him by sending the House of Black, which are Malachi Black, sending the House of Black to take him down and everything, and then talked about how does he want the House of Black? How does he want him to handle the House of Black? By tearing their pagan heads off or joining forces with them and everything. That was cool. Christopher Daniels cut a promo talking about how Jay Lethal, Sanjay Dutt, and Satnam Singh had the balls to stand up to Samoa Joe, and talked about how they talk shit about Samoa Joe when he's not there and everything, and talked about how Christopher Daniels himself has been best friends with Samoa Joe for over 20 years, and talked about how once Samoa Joe comes back and gets in the ring with Jay Lethal for the Ring of Honor television title at Ring of Honor's Death Before Dishonor, Samoa Joe is going to tear Jay Lethal from limb to limb. And Christopher Daniels was talking about how if Jay Lethal don't keep Samoa Joe's name out of his mouth, then there's going to be problems. And Christopher Daniels himself is going to fix that problem and beat the shit out of Jay Lethal himself and everything. That was cool. Lexi Nair interviewed Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty. Well, Lexi Nair brought up about Lee Moriarty coming up short against Jonathan Gresham for the Ring of Honor World Title, and Lexi Nair asked Lee Moriarty, "What's your plans going forward?" Well, before Lee Moriarty could talk, Stokely Hathaway interrupted and said, "Lee Moriarty, I see potential in you, kid. You have faced the greats like CM Punk and Bryan Danielson, correct?" Lee Moriarty said, "Yes." Yeah, Lee Moriarty said, "Yes, I have." Stokely Hathaway said, "Well, how long have you been with AEW?" Lee Moriarty said, "Over a year now." Stokely Hathaway said, "See what I mean, Lee Moriarty? Matt Sydal does not care about your career. Sign with me. Align with me. And I will make your career in AEW better. So here's my business card. Well, Matt Sydal said, whoa, 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 Stokely Hathaway. Why don't you back off? You say that I am not looking out for Lee Moriarty's best interest? Well, you're the one that's not looking out for Lee Moriarty's best interest, because I have big plans for Lee Moriarty. So you take this business card, I'm going to rip it up, and you take this business card, shove it up your ass, and go away. So Stokely Hathaway left, and Matt Sydal said, Lee, I have big plans for you, because I'm tired of seeing all these people that you're facing off against cheating to beat you. So I have an opponent for you next week on Rampage. And the opponent that I chose, he has peace, love, and heart for professional wrestling. Lee Moriarty, allow me to introduce to you your opponent, Dante Martin. Well, Dante Martin, Matt Sydal and Lee Moriarty shook hands, and then Dante Martin appeared, and Dante Martin said, Lee, next week when we face off on Rampage, I'm going to bring the best out of you, because I have all the heart, the peace, and the love for professional wrestling. So may the best man win. And then Dante Martin and Lee Moriarty shook hands and everything. That was cool. Tony Schiavone interviewed the Gun Club, which are Billy, Colton, and Austin Gunn. Well, Tony Schiavone brought up the Gun Club attacking the Acclaimed and asked why they done so. And Billy Gunn said, Tony, I know everyone is upset about what the Gun Club done to the Acclaimed, because I love the Acclaimed. They were like sons to me, and I treated them better than my own sons. But all good things have to come to an end. So I did what I had to do, and I dropped the Gun Club down like a ton of bricks. And Billy Gunn continued to, Billy Gunn continued to talk more shit about the Acclaimed, and then the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, came out to the ring, and as the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, came into the ring, Billy Gunn was trying to reason with the Acclaimed, and Billy Gunn said, whoa, 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 Max. Well, Billy Gunn said, whoa, 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 Caster, Bowens, listen to me. I know you're both pissed off because of what I done to you a couple weeks ago on Dynamite. But remember the times we had together? How about this? How about we scissor each other like old times, and we can go our separate ways. So scissor me, daddy ass. And so after Billy Gunn tried to weasel his way to the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens attacked Billy Gunn with a super kick and knocked him out of the ring, and so the Gun Club, which are Colton and Austin Gunn, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, started brawling and beating the shit out of each other. Then the Acclaimed got the upper hand and beat the shit out of the Gun Club and knocked him out of the ring. And after the Acclaimed knocked the Gun Club out of the ring, Max Caster got on the microphone and done a rap on the Gun Club, and after Max Caster done a rap on the Gun Club, Anthony Bowens took the microphone and said, "Savannah, Georgia, do you all want to see the Acclaimed versus the Ass Boys? Well, if you all want to see the Acclaimed against the Ass Boys right here, right now, let me hear you say Ass Boys." The crowd started chanting Ass Boys, and then Anthony Bowens continued to say, "Let me hear you say Ass Boys." And it just kept going on from Anthony Bowens and the crowd. And then as Anthony Bowens said that, Austin Gunn got on the microphone and said, "Savannah, Georgia, do you want to see the Gun Club fight the Acclaimed right here, right now?" The crowd chanted yes. And then Austin Gunn said, "Well, our answer to the Acclaimed's challenge is no." And then the Gun Club, which are Billy, Austin, and Colton Gunn, left and went backstage, and the Acclaimed, which are Max Caster and Anthony Bowens, stood tall and celebrated and everything in the ring. That was cool. And Mark Henry interviewed Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, along with Andrade El Idolo and Jose the Assistant, and the Lucha Brothers, which are Rey Fenix and Penta Oscuro, along with Alex Abrahantes. Well, Mark Henry said, Andrade El Idolo, you chose Private Party to face off against the Lucha Brothers in the main event of Rampage tonight. Why? Andrade El Idolo said, "Mark, as you know, I am a businessman, and it was in my best interest and also in my assistant Jose's best interest to choose Private Party to face the Lucha Brothers." Well, Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, which are Private Party, which are Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy, were going off on Andrade El Idolo of why he hasn't returned their calls or texts or social media messages and everything, and Mark Quinn and Isaiah Cassidy were talking about how they were going to make Andrade El Idolo proud, and how he was going to, how they were going to kick the Lucha Brothers' asses and everything. And then Penta Oscuro translated something in Spanish, and Rey Fenix translated something in Spanish. So Alex Abrahantes translated what Penta Oscuro said, and Alex Abrahantes said, "Penta says, Andrade, you talk about how you respect the tradition of Lucha Libre. Well, after you ripped mine and my brother Rey Fenix's masks off, that was the ultimate disrespect to Lucha Libre. And tonight, we're going to kick Private Party's asses." And Phoenix says, "Andrade, you're a piece of trash," and everything. And then Mark Henry said his signature line, "Well, looks like there's been enough talk. It's time for the main event," and everything. That was cool. Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Now, besides all that, Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Chris Jericho done commentary throughout the whole show. They done awesome as usual. and Caprice Coleman done guest commentary along with Jim Ross, Tony Schiavone, Excalibur, and Chris Jericho during the match between Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty for the Ring of Honor World title. Caprice Coleman done awesome on guest commentary. The referees for the event were Paul Turner, Bryce Remsburg, Stephon Smith, and Aubrey Edwards. Okay. Aubrey Edwards refereed the match between the House of Black versus the Dark Order. Paul Turner refereed the match between Jonathan Gresham versus Lee Moriarty for the Ring of Honor World title. Stephon Smith refereed the match between Chris Statlander and Athena versus the Renegade Twins. And Bryce Remsburg refereed the match between the Lucha Brothers versus Private Party. All the referees done awesome as usual. Now, the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite special event, Fyter Fest Week 2, so far, it's going to be Chris Jericho versus Eddie Kingston in a barbed wire everywhere match. Christian Cage and Luchasaurus versus the Varsity Blondes, which are Brian Pillman Jr. and Griff Garrison. The Blackpool Combat Club, which are John Moxley and Wheeler Yuta versus the Best Friends, which are Trent Beretta and Chuck Taylor, and Darby Allin versus Brody King. So the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Dynamite's special event, Fyter Fest Week 2, that's been announced so far, looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. And the match card that's been announced for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Fyter Fest Week 2, that's been announced so far, it's going to be Dante Martin versus Lee Moriarty. Now, more matches for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Fyter Fest Week 2, is still to come. So, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's special event... Wait a minute. So, the match card for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Fyter Fest Week 2, that's been announced so far, looks like it's going to be awesome. I can't wait to see it, and I'm looking forward to it. But anyway, I just wanted to come on here for a while and give them a review for All Elite Wrestling's AEW Rampage special event, Fyter Fest Week 1. Like I said, it was awesome from start to finish, and with that being said, my name is Austin Honecker, and I will catch your ass down the road. Peace out.